part of our professional development program for our teachers, the 20th Britannico Annual Teachers Convention was held on the 28th of August in the modern venue of the Marriott Hotel in Miraflores. The Britannico Annual Convention is the most important social academic event of the Britannico year. It allows our teachers and academic staff to get together and be more professionally enriched through the presentations that take place. It is also a great opportunity to meet not only teachers and staff from other branches, but also international speakers, Britannico academic staff, and members of the Board of Directors of the Britannico. This year, the program included concurrent sessions by guest speakers Annette Capel from Cambridge University Press CUP and Mauricio Ortega from Empreser ELT, as well as experienced Britannico teachers. There were also two sets of semi-plenaries led by guest speakers David White from Richmond Publishing, Eliana Gallardo from University of Dayton Publishing, Graham Harrison from Cambridge English Language Assessment, Nick Perkins from National Geographic Learning, Laura Smush from Anglo del Peru, and Danielle Caridis from Macmillan. Finally, a plenary by Steve Oakes from Pearson. Teachers from all our branches gathered early and enjoyed meeting each other. Mr. Miguel Grau, chair of the Board of Directors of the Britannico, was in charge of welcoming the over 500 participants and opened the event. Following the opening ceremony, there was a coffee break and time to interact with and meet colleagues from other branches. After the coffee break, 2 rounds of concurrent sessions were programmed. These sessions were run for the most part by Britannico teachers who showed all their expertise and shared their knowledge with their colleagues. Afterwards, 2 sets of 3 simultaneous semi-plenary sessions took place. In the first, we had Effective Speaking Classes by David White, Digital Competence in the Knowledge Society by Eliana Gallardo, and Do the Right Thing, The Positive Impact of Writing Assessment by Graham Harrison. After lunch break, the second set was We Don't Need No Education, Autonomy in Hyperconnected Times by Nick Perkins, Making Learning Memorable by Laura Smush, and Who are our young learners and how do we create the optimum learning environment for them by Danielle Caridis. All attendees participated enthusiastically and enjoyed every session. Hello everybody, welcome to the 20th Britannico Annual Teachers Convention. We are about to start and we are here accompanied by Nick Perkins from National Geographic Learning. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be back.
So you've been here before?
I have been here before. I was here, I think, in 2012 at the conference.
Great. And what did you like about that time?
Just the amount of teachers you have, the diversity of teachers with such a huge group. It was great to meet people with so many different priorities and so many different backgrounds in teaching.
Nick, tell us about your topic today, please.
I'm going to be talking about autonomy, which is something that has always been important in learning in general, especially in language learning. The moment when you finally have the ability to break free of the need for classroom support, for teacher support, and exist on your own in the subject or the topic in question. That's changed quite dramatically in recent years with the way that we're all connected to each other all the time through mobile devices, tablets, smartphones, or even just on the internet on a computer or a laptop. It's changed the way we need to look at autonomy. We used to, I think, look at autonomy as something meaning on your own, whereas nowadays it's impossible to ever be on your own. And so the invitation is for the people who come to my session to reflect on autonomy and reflect on what it means to do work alone, for example.
Great. So we're looking forward to hear about autonomy and we'll be back soon. Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, here we are before starting our 20th Annual Teachers Convention, and I'm accompanied by Graham Harrison. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here in this beautiful city and this beautiful venue as well for the Britannico conference.
Is it your first time in Peru?
No, it's not actually. I've been here a few times before, always for work, not for pleasure, but I do hope to come back sometime for a holiday in Peru.
Yeah, you have to consider traveling around. Can you tell us something about your presentation today, please?
Yes, I'll be talking about writing and assessing writing and how that can have a positive impact in the classroom. I'll be looking at various different things from the theory through to the practice and how teachers can perhaps use a slightly different way of assessing writing from what they usually do.
Okay, here I am with Laura Smush, and today, Laura, tell me, how do you feel at the event?
Well, this is great. I like it so much that you take the time to celebrate, to enjoy what you do, to learn more. This is very nice.
And tell me, what about your presentation at the convention today?
Well, the presentation is a presentation for teachers to develop their qualities of mind and heart. We teachers have been trained in academic skills, teaching skills, methodology, technology, and I would like to go a bit further and develop, investigate, practice other things that are not generally taken into account in teacher training courses.
Here I am with Eliana Gallardo, who has just had her presentation at the Britannica's convention. Eliana, tell us, how did you feel throughout your presentation?
I feel very comfortable. They are really friendly and they like to participate because my talk was more interactive, because I really want to get the feedback. Of course, I want to congratulate because it was really well organized, this convention, and was lots of participants. Really want to enjoy, learn, and participate.
Thank you. Is it your first time at the Britannica convention?
Yes, it's my first time, and I hope will not be the only one.
Oh, fantastic. And tell me, what was your presentation about?
It was more about the digital competence that all professionals, especially educators, need for this new digital era, and all the skills that have to develop in a way to manage all this technology that every day appears a new technology and you need to be updated.
Here we are with Annette Capel from Cambridge University Press. Welcome, Annette.
Thank you very much.
Is this your first time in Peru?
Yes, it's my first time. I came on Wednesday, and I'm going to be here in Lima and then on to Arequipa as well.
Great. So you have to try ceviche.
I have already tried it. It's delicious.
Great. Thank you. What can you tell us about your presentation today?
Okay, well, I'm going to be talking about student writing and actually about Peruvian students. So I've brought some material from something called the Cambridge Learner Corpus, and we're looking at some Peruvian candidates who've taken Cambridge English exams.
I have the great pleasure today to introduce Mr. Mauricio Ortega, who is going to be sharing with us his impressions today at this 20th Teachers Annual Convention. Mauricio, tell me, how do you feel today?
Well, I'm obviously very happy and very honored to be invited here one more time.
Okay, and tell us about your presentation. What is it going to be dealing with?
Well, the presentation is mainly about listening comprehension, all the things that some students and some teachers may find a little bit difficult to work with in the class, and I'm going to be working also with some suggestions and some strategies and ideas. Oh, well, absolutely, yes. This is actually my third year here. I'm very happy and very grateful to have been invited one more time. I guess I'm doing a good job. And well, the atmosphere is, as usual, very nice. It's very joyful. People are very energetic. And the fact that you have today brought boots and royal guards and more stuff is making it even more fashionable now.
Hello, here we are at the 20th Annual Teachers Convention, and we are accompanied by Mr. David White. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here.
David, what can you tell us about your presentation?
My presentation today is about speaking in the classroom. It's just a couple of activities to share about how to make speaking a little easier with our students.
Hello, here we are with Danielle Caridis from Macmillan. She just had her presentation. So, Danielle, tell us, how did it go?
I think it went really well. The participants were a little bit quiet at the beginning, but as we started talking about the children and how little power they have in their own lives, and they started thinking about the pushes and pulls of the daily life of the young learner, we started thinking about how we could take those things away and lower the effective filters for the classroom and what else they could be doing in the classroom.
Wow, wonderful. That sounds great. And tell us something about you. Is this your first time in Peru?
Actually, it isn't. I love Peru and I've been lots and lots of times. My last holiday last year was in Iquitos, and I saw the most amazing animals and met the most amazing people. And I love Peru. It's wonderful.
Okay, here I am with Steve Oakes. We have just had the closing of the ceremony. It's been a long, very productive, wonderful day. So what has it been your impression? I understand this is your first time at the Britannicas Convention.
Yeah, it's my first time at the Britannico Convention, my first time in Peru as well, and it's been absolutely fantastic from the first moment onward. I think my biggest impression has been basically the teachers, the dedication, awareness, knowledge, professionalism. I'm completely blown away. It's an incredible group of people and organization.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about your presentation?
Well, my plenary presentation. Yes. Okay. Yes, I talked about something called ambiguity tolerance, which is a person's ability to deal with not understanding. As we know, when people learn a foreign language, like English, when they start out, they understand very, very little. And most people, a little bit because of their educational background, find that very, very uncomfortable. They can't bear it, so they have an expectation of understanding 100%, really, which is completely unrealistic. And that is an impediment to learning. So the kind of stress and nervousness that people feel and the resistance they feel to basically dealing with and accepting the fact that learning a foreign language is a process full of ambiguity and risk. And the message of my presentation is that teachers help learners to recognize, accept, and embrace ambiguity as part of the learning process, and in that way become better learners.
Buffet lunch was offered at midday, and there was also time for participants to visit the book exhibition and see the latest publications: Pearson Longman, Macmillan, Richmond Publishing, University of Dayton Publishing, Cambridge English Language Assessment, and Cambridge University Press were present, as were local distributors such as Nutesa, Special Book Services SBS, and Anglo ELT. All displayed very interesting teaching material. We also had the Britannico Library participating with a stand, showing the services they offer and plenty of reading and reference material. The convention was coming to an end, and the program included a plenary by Steve Oakes. His talk was about ambiguity tolerance, what it is, its importance, and what we can do to positively develop this characteristic in our learners. After such an inspiring talk, it was time for Ms. Maria Elena Herrera, our Cultural Center Director, to share some information about the cultural activities offered at our theater, gallery, and auditoriums, along with a video from our Cultural Center. This convention was special, as it had, for the very first time, the performance from some members of our Britannico Orchestra, who delighted us with their talent. They are under the direction of Eric Mio and the assistant director, Renzo Carranza. A very special guest to our convention, the British ambassador, Mr. Anual Chowdhury, gave a brief but emotional speech. At the end of the event, the general manager of the Britannico, Mr. Gonzalo de Cárdenas, addressed some words to all attendees, closing the event by thanking participants for their presence and enthusiastic involvement. Once again, our convention proved to be a social academic event which allows our teachers to share and exchange teaching experiences, as well as learn about new concepts and English teaching techniques. Our special thanks and appreciation go to everyone involved in the organization of such a successful event.